For decades, Princess Anne has been described as the monarchy's most dependable royal. She rarely dominates headlines, rarely seeks attention, and rarely participates in the public dramas that often surround the royal family. Yet according to growing discussion among royal commentators, recent developments have raised an intriguing question. At a time when King Charles is managing enormous pressures, and the monarchy is navigating one of its most challenging transitions in decades, has the king quietly placed more trust in Princess Anne than anyone else inside the institution? When major changes happen inside the royal family, the public usually knows about them almost immediately. Palace statements are issued, photographs are released, commentators are briefed. Every detail is carefully managed through one of the most sophisticated communications operations in the world. That is why royal observers became so interested when reports began circulating about a significant private discussion involving King Charles and Princess Anne. Because according to several commentators, the real significance was never the meeting itself. It was what the meeting appeared to reveal about trust, responsibility, and the future stability of the monarchy. And that is where the story becomes fascinating. Over the last few years, the British monarchy has faced a series of challenges few people could have predicted. King Charles has continued carrying out public duties while openly managing health concerns. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has stepped back from many public responsibilities while focusing on recovery. Prince William has balanced increasing royal obligations with family priorities. Meanwhile, the pool of senior working royals available to support the institution has become significantly smaller than it once was. That reality matters, because monarchies depend on continuity. The public often focuses on ceremonies, state visits, and public appearances, but behind the scenes, institutions survive because trusted individuals are prepared to step forward when circumstances require it. The stronger the institution, the stronger that support structure tends to be. And according to many royal commentators, few people occupy a more important position within that support structure than Princess Anne. What makes Anne unique is not simply her title. It is her reputation. For decades, she has built an image unlike almost any other member of the royal family. While public attention frequently shifts toward future kings, future queens, and headline-generating controversies, Anne has quietly continued performing hundreds of engagements every year with remarkable consistency. No major publicity campaigns, no constant media appearances, no apparent desire for personal attention. Just work. That consistency has earned her enormous respect among royal observers. In fact, many commentators frequently point to Anne as one of the most reliable figures anywhere within the institution. Year after year, regardless of changing governments, shifting public opinion, or family controversies, she has maintained essentially the same approach to royal service. Show up, do the job, move on to the next responsibility. It sounds simple, yet in an era defined by constant attention and endless public scrutiny, that level of discipline has become increasingly rare, and perhaps increasingly valuable. Because according to many observers, the monarchy's current challenges have elevated qualities like reliability, experience, and institutional knowledge to a new level of importance. That naturally raises an interesting question. If King Charles needed someone he could depend on during a difficult period, who would that person be? Many commentators believe the answer is obvious. Princess Anne. Not because she seeks influence, not because she campaigns for greater authority, but because she has spent decades proving that responsibility can be trusted in her hands. The relationship between Charles and Anne also plays a major role in understanding why royal observers continue paying such close attention to their interactions. Unlike many public relationships inside the monarchy, theirs have been shaped by an entire lifetime of shared experience. They grew up together. They witnessed the pressures placed upon Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. They experienced the realities of royal life long before either fully understood what those responsibilities would eventually require. Over time, that shared history developed into something deeper than simple sibling loyalty. Many commentators describe Anne as one of the few people capable of offering Charles completely honest advice. Not palace advice, not political advice, honest advice. And for a monarch, that kind of relationship can be extraordinarily valuable, because leadership often becomes increasingly isolated over time. The higher someone rises within an institution, the fewer people remain willing to challenge them directly. Yet according to royal observers, and has never seemed particularly concerned about protecting feelings when duty requires honesty. That quality has become central to her reputation, and perhaps central to Charles's confidence in her. Meanwhile, another development has attracted growing attention among commentators. The monarchy's working structure appears to be becoming smaller and more concentrated. Prince Harry no longer performs official royal duties. Prince Andrew remains absent from public royal life. Several senior figures who once carried substantial workloads are no longer operating in the same capacity. As a result, a relatively small group of individuals now shoulders much of the institution's daily responsibilities. And right at the center of that group sits Princess Anne, which leads to a much larger question. If the monarchy is increasingly relying on a smaller circle of trusted figures, what does that reveal about where King Charles places his confidence? Because according to many royal observers, recent developments may not simply be about honoring Anne's decades of service. They may represent something far more significant, a recognition that during one of the most uncertain periods of the modern monarchy, the king continues turning toward the same person he has trusted for most of his life. And if that interpretation is correct, then the story is no longer about a title, a meeting, or a royal appointment. It is about why Princess Anne may have become one of the most important people in the future stability of the British monarchy, and why the next chapter of the story begins with a remarkable relationship she has shared with King Charles since childhood. What makes the relationship between King Charles and Princess Anne so important to this story is that it was built long before either of them occupied the positions they hold today. Long before Charles became king. Long before and became one of the institution's most respected figures. Long before the monarchy entered its current period of transition. According to royal historians, the foundation of their relationship was established during childhood, when the realities of royal life often created pressures that few outsiders could fully understand. And many commentators believe that shared history helps explain why Charles continues turning to and during some of the most important moments of his reign. Unlike many sibling relationships inside large public families, Charles and Anne grew up experiencing royal life from almost the same vantage point. Only a few years apart in age, they witnessed firsthand the extraordinary demands placed upon Queen Elizabeth II after she unexpectedly became monarch at a young age. As their mother's responsibilities expanded, so did the demands placed on the entire family. State visits, international tours, official duties, constitutional responsibilities. The future king and the future Princess Royal were raised inside an environment where duty was not simply encouraged, it was expected. And according to many royal commentators, those experiences shaped them in different ways. Charles developed into a thoughtful and often reflective figure, someone known for considering issues deeply and sometimes wrestling with difficult decisions before reaching conclusions. Anne, meanwhile, developed a reputation for directness, practicality, efficiency, where Charles often analyzed and often acted, where others worried about appearances and focused on outcomes. Those differences could have created distance between them. Instead, many observers believe they strengthened the relationship, because over time, Charles gained something increasingly rare within royal life: someone willing to tell him the truth. That quality appears repeatedly in discussions about Anne. Royal commentators frequently describe her as one of the few people capable of speaking candidly to the king without worrying about status, publicity, or political consequences. In institutions built around hierarchy, that kind of relationship becomes incredibly valuable. Leadership can be isolating. The higher someone rises, the more likely they are to hear what people think they want to hear. That is true in governments. It is true in corporations. And it is certainly true in monarchies. Yet according to many observers, Anne has never seemed particularly interested in telling people what they want to hear. She tells them what she believes they need to hear. And Charles appears to value that enormously. This may explain why so many commentators paid attention during the coronation period. Publicly, much of the focus centered on crowns, ceremonies, traditions, and symbolism. But royal analysts often pay attention to smaller details hidden beneath major events. Who is given responsibility? Who is trusted with sensitive roles? Who remains close to the center of decision-making? Those questions often reveal far more than speeches ever do. And according to many observers, Anne's role during Charles's coronation provided one of the clearest indications yet of the confidence he places in her. The significance was not necessarily the ceremonial position itself. It was the message behind it, a message suggesting that when Charles looked around the institution, he saw Anne as one of the people most capable of helping him navigate the challenges ahead. That interpretation only gained momentum as the monarchy entered an increasingly demanding period. Because while Charles was beginning his reign, the institution was simultaneously confronting multiple pressures at once: health concerns, public scrutiny, generational transition, a reduced number of working royals. Each challenge increased the importance of trusted support, and once again, observers found themselves looking toward Anne. Meanwhile, another figure quietly became part of the conversation: Sir Timothy Laurence. For years, Timothy has occupied one of the most unusual positions within royal life. Despite being married to one of the most prominent members of the royal family, he has largely avoided becoming a major public figure himself. No constant headlines, no attempts to build personal influence, no visible effort to seek attention. Instead, he has maintained a reputation remarkably similar to Anne's own approach: steady, professional, discreet. And according to many commentators, that consistency has not gone unnoticed. Recent recognition associated with Timothy attracted attention among royal observers, not because it transformed his constitutional position, but because of what it appeared to communicate. Royal honors often carry symbolic meaning beyond their formal definitions. They can signal appreciation, confidence, and recognition from the sovereign, which led many commentators to an interesting conclusion. Perhaps Charles was not only reinforcing trust in Anne, perhaps he was reinforcing trust in the small circle of people who have consistently supported the institution during one of its most demanding periods. That possibility becomes even more compelling when viewed against the broader picture. The monarchy today is operating with fewer senior working royals than at many points in recent history. The workload remains substantial. The expectations remain enormous. The scrutiny remains relentless. Yet the number of people available to carry those responsibilities has narrowed considerably. And when institutions face that kind of pressure, priorities often become clearer. Titles matter. Public popularity matters. But reliability becomes priceless, which may explain why Anne's importance appears to be growing rather than diminishing. Because while public attention frequently focuses on future kings and future queens, institutions often depend just as heavily on individuals who provide continuity during uncertain periods. Individuals who understand the machinery of the organization. Individuals who know how to function during crises. Individuals who can be trusted without hesitation. According to many royal commentators, Anne has spent decades proving she belongs in that category. And that is where the story becomes even more interesting. Because while Charles's trust in Anne appears stronger than ever, there is another factor shaping the monarchy's future at the same time: the shrinking circle of senior royals carrying the institution forward. And as that circle becomes smaller, Anne's role as a stabilizing force may become more important than anyone outside palace walls fully realizes. What makes Princess Anne's role so significant today is that the monarchy is operating under circumstances very different from those that existed during most of Queen Elizabeth's reign. For decades, the institution could rely on a relatively large number of senior working royals to distribute responsibilities across hundreds of engagements, international visits, charitable patronages, and ceremonial duties. If one member stepped back temporarily, others could often absorb the workload without creating major disruptions. According to many royal commentators, that luxury no longer exists. And as the pool of senior working royals becomes smaller, Anne's value to the institution appears to be growing with each passing year. This reality has become increasingly visible over the last several years. Prince Harry is no longer carrying out official royal duties. Prince Andrew remains absent from public royal responsibilities. Several older members of the royal family have naturally reduced their workload as age and circumstances changed. At the same time, public expectations have not decreased. If anything, they have increased. The monarchy is still expected to maintain a national presence, still expected to support hundreds of charities, still expected to represent Britain at major international events, still expected to provide continuity during periods of uncertainty. And according to royal analysts, that has placed enormous pressure on a surprisingly small group of individuals. Among them, Few have shouldered more responsibility than Princess Anne. Year after year, statistics tracking royal engagements frequently place and among the busiest members of the entire royal family. What makes this particularly remarkable is that she has maintained this pace for decades. While media attention often follows younger royals, and has quietly continued performing the kind of day-to-day institutional work that keeps the monarchy functioning. Many commentators believe this is one reason King Charles places such a high value on her contribution. Because experience cannot be created overnight. Institutional knowledge cannot be manufactured during a crisis. When challenges emerge, leaders often rely most heavily on individuals who have already proven themselves repeatedly under pressure. And has been doing exactly that for most of her adult life. The timing of this growing reliance is also important, because the monarchy's current transition is not occurring under ideal conditions. King Charles is carrying the responsibilities of a new reign while managing health concerns that have inevitably generated public discussion. At the same time, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has spent significant periods focused on recovery and family priorities. Prince William has assumed a larger share of public duties while balancing responsibilities that extend far beyond royal engagements alone. Each of these realities increases the need for stability elsewhere within the institution. And according to many observers, and has become one of the monarchy's most important sources of that stability. What makes her particularly effective is that she rarely attracts attention for doing so. There are no dramatic announcements, no major publicity campaigns, no visible effort to position herself as indispensable. Instead, and continues operating in the same manner that has defined her public life for decades. She performs the work, she fulfills the responsibilities, and she moves on to the next engagement. That consistency may be one of the reasons she commands such respect among royal historians and commentators. Because institutions tend to value predictability during uncertain periods. The less certain the environment becomes, the more valuable dependable figures become. Many analysts believe this explains why Anne's relationship with both Charles and William has attracted increasing attention. Publicly, conversations about the future of the monarchy naturally focus on Prince William and Catherine. They represent the next generation. They are preparing for roles that will eventually place them at the center of the institution. Yet according to many commentators, William also benefits enormously from Anne's presence. Not because she represents the future, but because she understands the past. She witnessed the reign of Queen Elizabeth from beginning to end. She observed how crises were managed. She saw how difficult transitions unfolded. She understands the practical realities of royal life in ways few people still living can match. That perspective is invaluable, particularly for a future king preparing to inherit one of the world's oldest institutions. Several royal observers have even described Anne as a bridge between generations, a link connecting Elizabeth's monarchy, Charles's monarchy, and William's future monarchy. If that assessment is accurate, her role becomes even more important than many people initially realize, because she is not simply helping manage today's responsibilities. She may also be helping ensure that decades of institutional knowledge are successfully transferred to the next generation. And that process matters enormously. Monarchies survive through continuity. They survive because experience is passed forward rather than lost. They survive because lessons learned during previous challenges help guide future decisions. According to many commentators, Anne occupies a uniquely important position within that process. Yet there is another aspect of this story that continues generating discussion among royal observers. Because while Anne is widely viewed as one of Charles's most trusted allies, not everyone inside the broader royal structure necessarily approaches the institution in exactly the same way. Different personalities, different priorities, different visions of how the monarchy should evolve. And as those differences become more visible, many commentators believe Anne's commitment to duty above all else may place her at the center of some of the most important decisions shaping the monarchy's future. What makes Princess Anne such an intriguing figure within the modern monarchy is that she has often managed to avoid the internal rivalries and competing priorities that commentators frequently associate with royal life. While other members of the royal family have sometimes become linked to debates about image, modernization, media strategy, or public perception, and has built her reputation around something much simpler: duty. According to many royal observers, That single-minded focus may explain why she remains one of the few figures capable of working effectively with different royal households while maintaining widespread respect across the institution. Yet that does not mean everyone approaches the monarchy in exactly the same way. Far from it. Like any large institution, the royal family contains individuals with different experiences, different priorities, and different perspectives on how the monarchy should adapt to changing times. Some focus heavily on public engagement. Some emphasize modernization. Some prioritize tradition. Others focus on protecting long-established structures. These differences are not necessarily signs of conflict. In many cases, they are entirely natural, but they do become important during periods of transition. And according to many commentators, the monarchy is currently navigating one of the most significant transitions of the modern era. King Charles is establishing the identity of his reign. Prince William and Catherine are preparing for the future. Public expectations continue evolving. The role of the monarchy itself is being examined more closely than ever. Under those circumstances, trusted advisors and dependable figures become enormously valuable, which brings attention back to Anne. Many royal observers have noted that Anne's approach differs noticeably from that of some other senior royals. She rarely appears interested in shaping headlines. She rarely engages in public image campaigns, and she has generally avoided discussions centered on popularity or public relations. Instead, she tends to evaluate situations through a different lens. What benefits the institution? What protects continuity? What preserves stability? That perspective has earned her a reputation as one of the monarchy's strongest institutional thinkers. And according to commentators, it may also explain why King Charles increasingly values her input. Because Charles himself occupies a difficult position. As monarch, he must think about today's challenges, but he must also think about tomorrow's monarchy. Every decision he makes has implications not only for his reign, but also for the future reign of Prince William. That creates a balancing act unlike almost any other leadership role. And in moments like that, experience becomes invaluable. Many analysts believe, and provides exactly that. She represents continuity with Queen Elizabeth's era while remaining actively involved in the monarchy's present operations. Few people possess that combination of institutional memory and current experience, which is why her influence often appears larger than her public profile would suggest. Interestingly, discussions about Queen Camilla sometimes emerge within this broader conversation. Not because Anne and Camilla are necessarily in conflict, but because they are often viewed as representing different pathways into royal life. Camilla entered the institution later and under circumstances that attracted extraordinary public scrutiny, and by contrast, has spent her entire life inside it. Their experiences are fundamentally different. Their public journeys are fundamentally different. And naturally, those different experiences can lead to different perspectives. Yet commentators frequently point out that Anne's primary loyalty appears directed toward the institution itself rather than toward any particular faction, household, or personality. That characteristic may be one of the reasons she commands such widespread respect. Because institutions tend to place enormous value on individuals who prioritize collective stability over personal influence. The more uncertain circumstances become, the more valuable those individuals become. And recent years have certainly contained uncertainty. Health concerns involving senior royals, changing public expectations, questions about the future size and structure of the monarchy, the ongoing challenge of balancing tradition with modernization. Each issue requires careful judgment. Each issue carries long-term consequences. And according to many royal observers, Anne's voice has become increasingly important during these discussions. Not because she seeks power, but because she understands responsibility. That distinction matters. People often assume influence comes from ambition. In reality, some of the most influential figures inside institutions become influential precisely because they are not pursuing influence for its own sake. They become trusted because others know their motivations. Others know where their loyalties lie. Others know what principles guide their decisions. For many commentators, Anne fits that description perfectly, which raises an important question about the future. As Prince William continues preparing for eventual kingship and Catherine continues expanding her role within the monarchy, where does Anne fit into that next chapter? Many observers believe the answer is surprisingly straightforward. She becomes even more important. Because while William and Catherine represent the future and represent something equally essential, experience, institutional memory, historical perspective, the lessons learned from decades spent observing both successes and crises at the highest levels of royal life. And if the monarchy is indeed entering a period where trust and stability matter more than ever, then Anne's role may prove far more significant than most people currently realize. Which brings us to perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this entire story. Because the growing confidence King Charles appears to place in, and may not simply be about supporting his reign today. It may also be about preparing the monarchy for the day when Prince William becomes king, and ensuring that when that moment arrives, one of the institution's most experienced and trusted figures remains there to help guide the transition. As discussions about Princess Anne's growing importance continue, many royal commentators believe the most revealing aspect of the story is not any single appointment, title, or responsibility. Instead, it is the pattern that has emerged over time. Again and again, during moments of uncertainty, transition, or institutional pressure, attention seems to return to the same figure. Not because she seeks the spotlight, not because she commands headlines, but because she has spent decades building something far more valuable inside the monarchy: trust. And according to many observers, trust may be the most important currency any institution possesses. That trust did not appear overnight. It was built through years of consistency, years of service, years of reliability, throughout changing governments, shifting public expectations, and multiple generations of royal leadership, and has remained remarkably steady. While circumstances evolved around her, her approach rarely changed. Show up, do the work, protect the institution, move forward. For many commentators, that simple formula explains why King Charles appears to place such confidence in her. Because leaders often rely most heavily on people whose behavior is predictable under pressure, people whose priorities are clear, people whose loyalty has already been tested, and has been tested repeatedly throughout her life. What makes this especially significant is the timing. The monarchy is navigating a period unlike any it has experienced in recent decades. King Charles is shaping the identity of his reign while managing personal challenges. Prince William and Catherine are preparing for the enormous responsibilities that await them in the future. Public expectations continue evolving, and the institution itself faces constant scrutiny from supporters and critics alike. Under those circumstances, experience becomes incredibly valuable. Not theoretical experience, practical experience, the kind that can only be gained through decades of direct involvement. And few people possess more of it than Princess Anne. Many royal historians have pointed out that Anne occupies a unique position within the institution. She is one of the last senior royals who witnessed virtually every stage of Queen Elizabeth II's reign firsthand. She saw how crises were managed. She saw how transitions were handled. She observed how public confidence was maintained during periods of difficulty. Those lessons matter, especially for future leaders, which is why some commentators believe Anne's importance extends beyond King Charles entirely. Her value may be just as significant for Prince William. As William prepares for eventual kingship, he faces challenges very different from those faced by previous generations. The media environment is faster. Public expectations are higher. Scrutiny is more intense. Every decision is analyzed almost instantly. Yet despite those differences, many of the core principles of leadership remain unchanged. Duty, discipline, consistency, responsibility. Interestingly, those are precisely the qualities most often associated with Anne. That connection has led some observers to describe her as an institutional bridge between generations. Someone capable of helping transfer decades of experience from Elizabeth's era into Charles's reign and eventually into William's future reign. If that interpretation is correct, then Anne's role becomes even more important than many people realize. Because she is not simply helping the monarchy manage today's challenges, she may also be helping prepare it for tomorrow's. And that brings attention to Catherine, Princess of Wales. Whenever discussions focus on the future of the monarchy, William and Catherine naturally become central figures. They represent the next chapter, the next leadership team, the next public face of the institution. According to many commentators, one of the greatest advantages available to William and Catherine is access to figures who possess deep institutional knowledge. People who understand not only what worked in the past but why it worked. People who can provide perspective when circumstances become uncertain. People who understand the difference between temporary controversy and long-term institutional stability, and fits that description perfectly, which may explain why her influence often appears greater than her public profile would suggest. Because true influence inside institutions is not always visible. It is not always announced. It is not always accompanied by headlines. Sometimes it exists quietly in conversations, advice, experience, and judgment accumulated over a lifetime. And for many royal observers, that may be the real story. Not a sudden increase in power, not a dramatic transfer of authority, not an unexpected rise to prominence, but the gradual recognition of someone who spent decades preparing for moments exactly like these. Someone who earned confidence rather than demanded it. Someone who built credibility rather than publicity. Someone who placed duty ahead of attention. That is why Princess and continues attracting such admiration from commentators across the political and royal spectrum. Because regardless of how people feel about the monarchy itself, many acknowledge the same reality. Reliability matters. Integrity matters. Service matters. And few figures have embodied those qualities more consistently than Anne. As King Charles continues his reign, and as Prince William and Catherine move closer to the responsibilities that await them, the monarchy will inevitably continue evolving. New challenges will emerge. New expectations will arise. New decisions will need to be made. Yet through all of those changes, many observers believe one thing is likely to remain the same. When the institution needs stability, experience, and trusted judgment, Princess Anne will continue to be one of the first people the monarchy turns to. And perhaps that is the strongest indication of all that her importance has never really been about titles. It has always been about trust. What do you think? Has Princess Anne become the most trusted and dependable figure inside the modern royal family? Or do you believe her influence is sometimes overstated by royal commentators? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this remains one of the most fascinating discussions surrounding the future of the monarchy. If you enjoyed today's analysis, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest coverage of King Charles, Princess and Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and the stories shaping the future of the British monarchy. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.